You know what, I think as a football player, especially being here in Texas, you kind of get used to it. You don't even think about it, right? Right now, I mean, we're not harping on what the heat is. It's going to be hot. You're going to have to play some games in the heat and some games in this kind of weather. So right now, we're just trying to push through. It's about being mentally strong, doing everything right, managing the details of the game, regardless of what the weather's like.
Whenever you lose kind of a leader in your area or your grouping, how do you realize what guy can kind of step up there?
Well, the good thing for us is that we had spring to kind of go through and talk about leadership and kind of see who the guys would be that we can count on to step up out front. And you would hope that, the veterans, the guys that were here that left, showed good qualities to where those young guys picked up and, next man up, next man in. So that when that guy steps up and he gets his opportunity, right, the leadership is already there. You just got to continue to foster it.
Do you have any guy who you think we could see step into that role?
I'll tell you, for a guy that hasn't played a lot, I mean, he played a little bit last year, but Doug Coleman's done, an excellent job of being first in line, communicating, the calls, being first in the meetings, opening up his notebook, really showing the guys that haven't been here how to do it, and I know that he's been here for a while. He's a senior for us, but, for a guy that hasn't played a lot, I think that he's being exceptional right now from a leadership standpoint.
Speaking about some of those younger guys, have you thought about Alex Hogan, some of the freshmen that are kind of stepped in?
I think that we've got a good crop of freshmen. And here's the deal, they're still freshmen at the end of the day. I think that they've added some depth to us. I think that they've added some speed and some athleticism, but it's still going to take those guys a while to get up to speed, just to understand the speed of the game at this level, just to understand, they're used to maybe having one call and, you go cover this cat, you go cover that cat, but now when you get to the college level and you've got to be multiple and you've got to understand how to manage checks within checks, that becomes a lot on the young buck, but they've all been well, so we're pretty pleased with where they are right now. And, what we tell them is from day 1 to day 2, it should be better. From day 2 to day 3, it should be better. So as long as they're making progress and moving the game forward, right, we're fine with that.
It seems like more years than most, we're seeing a lot of guys who can play multiple positions. How big is that versatility in your secondary?
That's critical, and for the secondary, and then for this conference, the guys that you have that can play cover safety and then kick out to corner or kick down to nickel or kick into the boundary. The more those guys that you have, the better secondary that you can be.
How important is it to have size back there? I mean, not just speed, some length.
Yeah, I think size is important. I think the misconception in the Big 12 is that they're going to throw the ball 100 times and run it, maybe once. But you get a lot of teams in this league that are going to run the ball. OU, Texas, for sure. You know what I mean? So you want bigger body guys, not just cover guys that at sometimes have to be able to be ready to fit in the run.
When you're talking about getting that endurance, is this the best offense possible to scrimmage against at times?
You know what? I feel like every offense that I've been against is an up-tempo offense. So, to me, this is just I guess I'm almost numb to it, seeing these tempo teams. But it is pretty fast-paced.
Are the guys numb to it?
The guys are not numb to it yet, right? This is new for them, not new for me. And I don't have to go out there and practice like they do.
How have Adrian Fry's skills translated to from corner?
So the thing about Fry is, like, he played corner, so he's got exceptional cover skills. But the thing I think people miss on is that, like, how smart that dude is. Like, he moved into the safety spot and picked it up like that, like it wasn't anything. And he's a physical, corner. He's not a small corner. He's a legit 6 foot, 190, 95-pound kid. And he's smart. He can cover. He's physical, right? He's kind of the prototype of what you look for.
How did you handle what happened with the defensive staff at Oklahoma, and then how quickly, I guess, you kind of landed on your feet coming here?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you're in this business. I tell my wife all the time, I've been doing this for 19 years. You know what you sign up and you know what you sign up for. I mean, that's college football. You know what I'm saying? So, you've got to go in obviously with the expectations of good things happening. But the reality of it, when you coach long enough, they say you're not really a coach until you get fired, right? So, I wasn't really concerned with it. I mean, I knew that changed mid-season. Obviously. There was going to be some more changes to come, and so you just, as a coach, you just keep moving forward. I had a bunch of calls, and, for me it was important to stay close to home. I'm from the Dallas area, went to Irving Nimitz, so this was a great opportunity when I got the call from Coach Wells.
How well did you know either Coach Wells or anyone on the staff?
I've known Coach Wells, I've known Coach Patterson. The funny thing, when I was at Notre Dame, Coach Patterson was at Tulsa, and then he was at Arizona, and then he was at Pitt, so I've known Keith. For a long time. I've known Coach Randolph, probably 10 to 12 years, and the both Wells brothers used to recruit against those guys from back in, my Minnesota, Wisconsin days when they were assistants as well. So, I wouldn't say like tight-knit, but, in this business, it's a small world, so everybody knows everybody. Good enough to make a call and be able to land the job.
Was that the first time that you said you're not a coach until you've been fired? Was that the first time that you had been in that position?
First time I've been in that situation. ever. You know, and you date back from, you know, to 2002 to, you know, to last year. But again, it's going to happen, right? It's going to
How
happen.
much does it still, though, maybe hurt your pride or something when it does happen?
I don't think it hurts your pride. I mean, you know, as a football player, you're taught from when you're playing Pop Warner that you're gonna get knocked down. So what do? You get back up, right? I mean, so that's just the mentality that you have as a football player, as a coach. If you're in this position and you don't have thick skin, you're in the wrong profession.
Going back to Adrian for a second, a lot of guys are talented, but how big is it to have a guy? He seems to always be wanting to get better and trying to figure out what he can do to get better.
I think that's what you want. I think the great players, right, are never satisfied, right? So they're always looking for a way to get better. You know, maybe this step, maybe this alignment, maybe, you know, studying the wide receivers or studying the formation keys. But the great ones are always looking for a way to get better. They're never satisfied.
Being an Irving guy, did you know any players who went to Texas Tech, Metroplex guys from back in your era?
I don't know how long some of you guys were here, but I went to Irving Nimitz, and there was a really good running back, probably in the early 90s, that came through here, Byron Miles.
Fullback.
Yep, the fullback, right? So, and then actually after that, the quarterback that I played with, that was my quarterback for 2 years, Kevin McCullough, actually came here as well. So two guys from my area, from my school, right? One was ahead of me and one was behind me, came here to Tech.
Robert Walker didn't come to Tech.
He went to Texas.
A lot of Tech guys. Where was he in relation? He's older than you, right?
2 years older than me. Yeah, 2 years older.
Have you been keeping track of Kevin's son then? Being a basketball player in Texas
I
Tech?
am. Yeah, he's, you know, when I first took the job, he was the first one to call me and congratulate me, but also obviously, you know, hyping up his son.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge of just, you mentioned it with the freshmen, just kind of adapting to the pace of the game, but you guys, this is the fastest practices that I've ever been part of. I mean, how is this whole group defensively, and especially with your position group, how do you think that they've adapted, and what has been the most challenging part?
You know, I think that the challenge is not just, you know, understanding, you know, the pace of practice and how we practice, but, you know, they've got a whole new staff. So, you know, those guys understanding the culture and the expectations, right? That's an adjustment. You know, and what we've told them is, you know, you want a different result, you got to do something different, right? The adaptation of those guys has been great. The response has been great. Guys are buying in. They're doing everything that we're asking them for. Obviously, the more that they see the pace of the offense throughout practice, the better, more comfortable, more relaxed that they get at it. So that's just something that kind of happens naturally over time.
I just think I come out hard every day. And the same with all the other players. I mean, we like to compete against each other. So, you know, like Doug, Fry, Adam Beck back there, just at the safety position, we like to make it a little competition. So going out there and having that edge and being around great players like that kind of, you know, pushes me to, you know, be my best and just come out here and get better every day.
Who's one of the receivers you kind of had that has given you a lot of trouble so far?
To be honest, it's our walk-on freshman, Xavier White. He got a little something. I went against him in a few one-on-ones, and he got me a couple times. But, you know, I'm starting to figure out his game. But, I mean, most of these other guys I played with in the spring and stuff, so I kind of been with him for a little bit longer. But Xavier White, I think he's going to be something special.
What is it about Adrian that makes him so special that he can kind of make that move from corner now more to safety and still fill that role?
I think he's just a versatile guy. I think he can kind of play any role in the back end. I mean, he's always had that edge to him, and it doesn't seem like it off the field. He's kind of a goofy dude, but when he gets out here, it's all seriousness, and, I mean, he straps it up and he comes ready to play every time.
You talk about having an edge. 4 practices into this team still have that edge. You guys are excited for practice 1. You two guys still feel it?
Oh yeah, I mean the heat. It don't matter. It's gonna be every day, and I mean it takes a toll on you. But guys still come out here. I mean we get hyped before we come out from the locker room and stuff. So I think the edge is still there, and just competing today. I mean getting turnovers, that just fuels us even more.
Going up against the pace of this offense in practice, does this pretty much prepare you for anything you're gonna face in the Big 12 this year?
Oh yeah, it's tough. They go real fast, and Coach Wells, he'll tell you sometimes a little bit unrealistic, but it's just going to help us, you know, in the end with just getting conditioned like you were saying. But, yeah, those guys go real fast, and just having to get lined up, get the call, and get set, it takes time.
Whenever you lose a leader like Justice in that area or at your position, how do you guys as a unit step up to fill that?
I mean, we've always had a bunch of good guys in the back end, and I know it was a tough loss for us, but at the same time, I mean, we lost a little experience, but we still got guys like Doug, and, you know, Fry played a lot last year, and myself on special teams. So we got guys who've seen the field and who's played a lot of times. So just with that and having a little bit experience spread around the room, I think it helps a lot. So, I mean, it was a hit, but we're all right.
You bulked up this offseason. How much are you up?
I put on 20.
Wow. How
yeah.
has that helped you? Have you noticed a difference so far? I don't know how much y'all have been hitting yet, but have you noticed a difference?
I mean, I definitely have. I feel a whole lot better just coming out and playing just with my body and confidence and stuff, and moving around hasn't been a problem. So honestly, I think I probably got faster. So it's just putting on the strength and the muscle. It's just helping. I felt it with, like you said, tackling or just running. I felt it.
What's the difference Coach Scholes has brought that allows you to put on 20 pounds?
I think he's just a real smart dude. He knows his stuff down to the science, and he gonna tell us about something, and he gonna tell us every reason why and how and what function is gonna go for. So just having that on your side and knowing we're not just doing stuff to do it, it helps, and it kind of motivates us more that we're not just doing stuff to do it. It's a reason behind it.
Talk about confidence a little bit. The gains that you guys have made brings confidence probably across the board to everybody.
Of course. I mean, it's like our backhand, offense, defense, it don't matter. Everybody's put on, I think every room had at least 20 pounds on one person. So, I mean, Coach Scholes has definitely done his thing, and I think the team is starting to mold into that shape that we've always wanted to see.
At Big 12 Media Days, Doug said he thinks this could be one of the best secondaries of Texas Tech history. What gives you guys that type of confidence?
Oh, man. I mean, we got a bunch of young guys. Most people don't know about us, and it just kind of fuels us a little more. I mean, it's, they say Big 12, we don't play defense and this and that, but, I mean, I think our secondary is real cohesive, and we really came together as a brotherhood, and that's the big thing we wanted to work on this offseason. So having that, togetherness and brotherness, I think that's what really helped us. And we've been playing for a while, all of us, Doug, Fry, me, Quincy Addison, Dez, DeMarcus, all those guys. So just having all of us be together for so long has just helped.
For somebody like you who's been at it for a few years and you've had to kind of be patient sometimes for your breakout moment, what would be your best message that you'd give to somebody like Xavier White or some of these other walk-ons, just about being patient and capitalizing and grinding through the times where they may feel like it's...
Right, so my thing is just a rep is a rep, and that's just kind of how I take it regardless of who I'm running with. I'm still getting my work, and coach is going to see it regardless if you're running 1, 2s, or 3s. So just guys like that just put on in practice, and when you get your opportunity, just make plays, because I mean, I know a lot of those guys are athletes too, regardless of how they got here or whatever it might be. Just take each rep one at a time, and take it serious as if you were one.
There seems to be a versatility amongst almost everyone in that secondary. Why is that so important?
I mean, all of us guys, we work out together regardless if it's a corner, safety, spur, whatever it might be. We all get together and work out and do the same footwork and same drills. So having that is just helps us know every position, especially in the film room. We'll kind of go over when we draw stuff up or whatever it is. Guys put every single position on the board, and regardless if it's secondary or not, just to know the defense and have a better understanding.
Is that helping the cohesiveness because where one guy, you're in the mindset of the corner and where he's going, what he's thinking?
Right. So yeah, just knowing that, like you said, and being in the film room, like us guys, we know what we should be running. We know if we get a certain look, we want to change it to this or that. So being on that same page really helps.
Moving fast, we're trying to get the schemes in, get the reps, and like me and TJ, the rest of the team, and we all just trying to focus and make sure we're playing fast and getting the script down as we go, get each other better.
How would you describe just the tempo and the pace of practices?
It's just fast. Like, we out here for an hour and 50, so we're getting our work in like real fast. So coach wants us to play fast and move fast. It's out here for an hour and 50, so you got to move fast.
You've always been known as an offense that has moved fast. What makes this quicker than the regular, I guess, idea of fast offense?
I mean, it's just the tempo now. Like, as soon as you get to play, you got to line up and get lined up quick. And then, like, as soon as you catch the ball, you make sure you got to get the next play because it's quick. They're coming in quick, like they're calling the play already.
What's the toughest part then about keeping that speed but also trying to learn the new offense?
It's just learning the new plays and then, like, getting the steps down and making sure everybody else knows what they're doing and make sure you know what you're doing. So.
How's your adjustment to moving outside going?
It's going well. I mean, I'm learning a lot from TJ. He's just teaching me the ropes and how to get off the releases and come to balance while I'm running my route and just finishing the play every time.
What type of presence has RJ brought to the wide receiver?
Physical, real physical. That's just like, he's just showing us like how to be more physical on the line and like get off the press real quick. Like, he a physical person, really.
Coach Wells has talked about how this team, he wants it to become mentally indestructible. Practicing in this heat probably helps you, become that.
Yeah, you got to drink a lot of water to be out in this heat. So when teams come, we'll be ready, and we won't be cramping up and locking up. So we'll be adjusting to the heat and be ready to play full speed.
What makes this offense that Yost has implemented special, at least in your eyes?
It's just so many reads for the quarterback to get the receivers the ball. And it's just not the quarterback running routes, it's the running back running routes, and they can make adjustments. Everybody's doing something.
Sean, going back to that move to the outside, I guess when did Coach Wells or Coach Yost kind of mention that was going to happen, and I guess what was your reaction to it?
They told me in the spring that I was going to move outside because they were looking for a more deep threat and like vertical threat. So just like the way I play, just get off the line fast and then get upfield and make plays.
During high school, did you ever play outside or inside? Or
Yeah, I moved outside and inside.
So I guess what's a comfort level in terms of playing inside or outside for you?
Just playing fast, really.
Who are the defenses giving you the most challenge so far?
I have to go with Dez Smith. Yeah, he's a physical cornerback. He's grabbing and like playing scrappy. I like that. He's getting me better and I'm getting him better.
What was your experience like being a dual sport athlete?
It's great. I mean, just coming to Tech, playing football and running track, it just gave me experience to experience more and just go out and like see everything like different from the football field. I'm going to the track meets, learning from other people, learning how to get faster, and from the football field, being physical and lifting weights. Now I'm getting bigger and stronger.
I was gonna say, what's the biggest thing you can take from that track and field experience and use on the football field?
Just like false stepping. Like now, I done learn how to come off my brakes and be more efficient with my route running. So.
Still playing those two sports, did you have to maintain a certain weight for one or the other? And I guess how tough was that for you?
Yeah, I had to maintain my weight, but still run at the same time. It was kind of hard, so I was just working to keep that speed while I got this weight on me.
How has the experience of this training camp been different for you as opposed to what you had in the spring, just being able to be fully healthy and be able to kind of, like you said, go full speed?
It's just better now that I can just run like more efficient, like because my ankle was hurting in the spring and I hurt my hamstring, so I couldn't really just move like I wanted to move. So now I'm moving the way I want to move, and I feel like I can be a threat in the offense now.